Hello, happy Wednesday, I'm Alistair. Let's talk about comics. First item of news, Mark Millar and Dave Gibbons are collaborating on a comic called Secret Service. It won't be out until February 2012, but the big news just now is that Mark Millar is running a competition to name a character, kind of like what he did for Kick-Ass. The proceeds from the auction will go to the St Bartholomew Primary School Pantomime Fund. Mark Millar found out that his old primary school couldn't afford to take kids to go to see a pantomime at Christmas anymore, so he's starting this fund so that they can always afford it. The team behind Swamp Thing have been talking about a crossover with Animal Man. Swamp Thing's probably one of the better comics to come out of the DC relaunch, so I'm actually quite excited about that. Jim McCann, who used to work for Marvel, is moving to Image Comics to produce Mind the Gap, a new series. He's been winning awards left, right and centre, so it should be very good. Keep your eyes open for that. Dark Horse are going to be producing Dragon Age comics. Dragon Age, the game. I don't know if you're gamers, so I don't know if you're going to know what I'm talking about, but it looks like they're going to be done really well. It was kind of announced at New York Comic Con, and it looks awesome. Brian Wood, one of my favourite comic book writers at the moment, is no longer under a DC exclusive contract. He has already announced that he's going to be doing things with Marvel and Dark Horse. At Marvel, he is writing Wolverine and the X-Men Alpha and Omega. That is a 5-issue miniseries and it will be out in January. At Dark Horse, he is writing Conan the Barbarian. It's an adaptation of Robert Howard's Queen of the Black Coast and it will be out in February. Big news for Marvel, they are going to be doing a Dexter comic book series. Yes, the friendly serial killer guy. Jeff Lindsay, the author of the original novels, will actually be writing the comics and it will be all new stories, so fans of Dexter will be all over that and Marvel will have lots of new comic book readers. I haven't found any news about when it'll be actually released yet, but we know they're working on it, so we know it's coming. I think for my review today I will review a classic. Yep, that's right, I'm reviewing Watchmen. I know I've already included it in my list of comics for new readers, but I've just finished rereading it and I really want to do a proper review of it. So you're going to have to listen to me. Ha! First published by DC Comics in 1986, continuing into 1987, it basically re-evaluated how we thought about superheroes. It puts the superheroes into a Cold War setting and it looks at all the issues that would arise from that. Apart from Dr. Manhattan, none of the other superheroes have superpowers. They're more of the Batman vigilante type superhero. Having made the Batman comparison, I kind of need to stress that this is definitely not a kid's comic book. Because of the adult themes in it, I think Watchmen did a lot to restore the credibility of comics as an art form. Not that anyone that was reading comics really cared what people thought about them. I think Alan Moore in writing it actually did the best he could to highlight the strengths that comic books had over any other form of media. There's some quite cool moments in it. One of my favourites is actually the comic within the comic. In the Watchmen comic, there's another comic that a character reads called Tales of the Black Freighter, and I think it's quite interesting that they didn't go for a superhero story in that, probably because superheroes already existed so people wouldn't be interested in that. So it's actually about pirates. I just find it interesting that they can have a comic book character reading a comic book and it doesn't just become mind-numbingly boring. I think anyone that's seen the movie and enjoyed it will probably enjoy the comic book as well, but I would say go into it and look at it as its own piece of art. Don't look at it as the thing that they made a movie out of. There are differences in the plot. They've left some things out in the movie and they changed some of the ending. And actually, while I'm talking about the ending, some people that I've spoken to have said they found the ending anticlimactic, but I think it's just not the kind of climax you're expecting from a comic. But all in all, the comic is absolutely amazing and I cannot stress enough how important it is that everyone reads it. That was probably actually more ramble than review. But basically, the comic is mind-blowing, and like this is the way I talk when I talk about Watchmen. I get excited about it, so you should get excited about it too. That's it for this week. I will see you next week. Have a good day and read good comics.